Guys, this may be one of the best weapons Lightfall has to offer, and that is the Neomuna Pulse Rifle Phyllotactic Spiral. It is a high-impact pulse rifle. It deals arc damage and has traits like Voltshot, Frenzy, Kill Clip, Headseeker. But in that first column, there's actually a new trait, one of which has changed the game, and that is the trait Keep Away. This trait right here takes this high-impact pulse rifle and gives you the most consistent 2 bursts that I have ever seen from a high-impact. This is beyond no time to explain. The messenger, Regic's broadsword. Hell, think back to every dominant high-impact pulse rifle, and all I can tell you is that right now, in this sandbox, this pulse rifle is so meta. Now, we're gonna dive into the God rolls today because it may surprise you, and yes, this is the craftable roll. If you thought base Keep Away was good, the enhanced version of this trait takes it to a whole nother level. It states that it significantly increases reload, range, and accuracy when no combatants are in close proximity. Now, what is close proximity? Actually, 15 meters or further, Keep Away is procced. And guys, it's not only procced for the first shot, it's procced at all times. Now, the reason why this is so significant is the same reason why perks like Tap the Trigger, Opening Shot, Under Pressure, any perk that can actually affect accuracy, that is a top tier perk. However, the parameters for those perks normally require something like Opening Shot. That accuracy buff and that range bump is only on the first shot. Tap the Trigger, only on the first shot, unless you have an archetype that breaks that, like aggressive 2-round burst sidearms. Under Pressure, which is one of my favorite perks, requires you to be at the bottom half of your magazine. Fantastic for special weapons, especially for fusion rifles, because you only start off with 2 rounds in your mag when you spawn into Crucible. So Under Pressure is always procced, but not that good here for primary weapons because it requires you to prime your weapon down, get to the bottom half of that magazine, which is definitely time consuming and annoying. However, we have Keep Away. Keep Away does all of these things. The bumps there to range, which the base version of this perk increases range by +10. The bump there to reload speed by +30, which you desperately need on this archetype because the reload speed is pretty abysmal. And the accuracy cone buffs, that -5%, that's significant, especially on this archetype of weapon because high impacts actually just got a buff last season where they're more consistent. You see, previously, its intrinsic perk, which states that it's slow firing and high damage, and the weapon is more accurate when stationary, moving slowly and aiming down sights. Bungie confirmed, something that we thought for a long time, that the moment you moved even slightly, this archetype of weapon would lose accuracy. And by the way, this is across the board for all high impacts. But that got changed. Bungie actually made it so that even if you're moving with a high impact frame weapon, the accuracy will still remain intact. So we're talking across the board more accuracy on top of Keep Away and what it's presenting to us in its base form in that -5% accuracy cone size. And then when we look at the enhanced version, this significantly increases all of these stats and aids that accuracy cone even more. Granted, we don't have the values for enhanced Keep Away, but all I can tell you guys is that it's noticeable. So much so that it feels like Tap the Trigger and Opening Shot, but for every single shot. Every single shot feels that level of sticky. And there are multiple times in this gameplay that you're seeing right here, guys, where I should have been outgunned. There's also multiple times where I am aiming nowhere near my opponent's head, and somehow I still lock in the 2 bursts. I've used high impacts for years, and yes, 2 bursts, they come and go, but I have never had this level of consistency ever. Now, that's not to say that Keep Away is all you need to make this pulse rifle meta. I know it has other traits in this final column, and for my PvE players, 100% a Voltshot roll all day long. But for my PvP players, I know most of you probably see this and think, oh, Kill Clip. I'm just gonna go with Kill Clip. Call it a day. Don't get me wrong, guys. Kill Clip is nice. And yes, you will have the ability to easily get the 2 bursts, no problem. But actually, the perk you want, guys, in 1v1s, in Trials of Osiris, is Headseeker. Now, I know for years now, Headseeker has never been a meta option, but it is now. First up, it increases the crit damage after you land a body shot. Now, understand for high impacts, base time to kill, if you land all 6 crits, is that beautiful 0.67 time to kill value. It's fast, guys. It catches so many people by surprise. Now, at 8 resilience or lower, you are able to still secure the kill at 5 crits, 1 body. Now, this is where Headseeker comes into play. That increase in damage allows us to get a kill on Guardians 7 resilience or lower in 4 crits, 2 body. Now, keep in mind, guys, the cadence of this needs to be the first shot is a body shot and the following 2 shots are crits, which is actually really easy to do if you're kind of aiming at the target toward their chest area. That first shot may be a body shot, it'll tack on the extra shots with the crits, and you can subsequently follow up with the same exact burst. Now, keep in mind, you don't have to intentionally do this. I definitely wasn't. It's just when it happened, it happened. And what it allowed me to do is that if 2 of my shots were body shots, but they were separated burst to burst, this increased my crit damage to somewhere around 38 per crit. Granted, there's some rounding here. It's not quite 38 per crit. It's like 37.5, which which is exactly why it's able to get a kill on Guardians 7 resilience or lower. Again, 4 crits, 2 body, guaranteed 2 bursts, 0.67 seconds all day long. I cannot stress how good this pulse rifle feels. It is the most consistent 2 bursts I have ever played with. Now, I do want to mention that the base recoil direction of this pulse is 80. So 100% you want to rock the counterbalance mod, which kicks things up to 95, which is perfect. And again, my roll to me is almost perfect, except I would prefer to have enhanced Headseeker instead of just base Headseeker. This would actually tack on some extra stability. Now keep in mind, guys, the reason why Headseeker is performing so much better now here is that it doesn't just increase our precision damage, it's also increasing our aim assist. So not only are we getting these accuracy bumps from Keep Away, but we're also getting the aim assist bumps from Headseeker. Now before we dive into the origin traits, which is actually very key here for going up against multiple targets, nanotech tracer rockets are disgusting. But first, I do want to just mention what the God Roll is. Hammerforged rifling, ricochet rounds, enhanced Keep Away, enhanced Headseeker all day long. And if you could throw on a ranged masterwork, even better, you're going to be sitting comfortably at 83 range base, and then with Keep Away being activated, that kicks it up to 93 range. Now, the enhanced version is supposed to go even more than that, so you start running into a situation where you're reaching almost the range cap. Now, my roll right here without Keep Away starts to receive damage fall off at 40 meters. With Keep Away active, that kicks it up to 41 meters. Now, that's still a very good range, but across the board, like if we were to compare it to things like Stars and Shadow, New Purpose, the Messenger, those pulse rifles definitely have more range. Funny enough, Premonition, which is actually what Phyllotactic Spiral is based off of, it's the same gun model. Premonition actually has slightly more range than that of Phyllotactic, but of course, when you tack on things like Keep Away, it's able to match that range. Granted, the furthest reaching high impact in the game right now is actually Legal Action. It's kind of nuts how far that pulse rifle can reach. But range isn't everything, hence why No Time to Explain has continued to be such a good weapon, even in this current sandbox. I know you're not seeing it in every single lobby, but after the high impact changes, we actually re-reviewed No Time to Explain, and it feels good. Despite its range being 37.5 meters, No Time is still a contender, but all that consistency is overshadowed here by Phyllotactic Spiral with Keep Away. Now, I do want to talk about nanotech tracer rockets. This is actually the origin trait on these Neomuna weapons, but upon scoring multiple hits, you will shoot a tracking rocket. Now, I think some people look at these little tracer rockets as like a thing for PvE. Don't get me wrong, I very much like it there, but it's actually useful inside of PvP. For Phyllotactic here, on your 4th burst, a nanotech rocket will produce, and the base version of this actually hits 2 hits for around 14 to 15 damage each. Now, I know you're thinking, Cross, most people are going to be dead by then, right? You're getting 2 bursts. When is this actually useful? Well, it's useful when going from target to target. You're actually still able to proc nanotech rockets when hitting multiple targets. So if you get that crispy 2 bursts and then you immediately swap over and start hitting another enemy, you can spawn a nanotech rocket for that extra immediate 30 damage. Now, you can actually enhance this even more. There's an artifact mod which increases the damage here of nanotech rockets. It's still 2 hits, but it's actually 17 damage each for a total of 34 damage. And again, guys, our artifact mods, these are just passive perks applied to our weapons, so it's not like you have to slot this on. This is just passively buffing your origin traits. I know everyone loves No Time to Explain because of Time Chasm, and even though I do think that that's still better than nanotech rockets, the additional damage is just a cherry on top that honestly Phyllotactic Spiral didn't even need. So guys, that is our review here for this pulse rifle. It's phenomenal. It is 100% worth the grind, and if you're looking to get the craftable version of this weapon, feel free to check out our guide here, guys. We go over all the various ways in which you can unlock red borders, and I will say the base version of this gun is good, but when you actually get the craftable rolls, when you got that sexy enhanced Keep Away and enhanced Headseeker, you're looking at some phenomenal stats across the board. Almost 60 stability, almost max range when you include Keep Away, and the accuracy buffs alone elevates this pulse rifle above the rest. Some of you are not going to believe me, so again, try it out for yourselves. And even though I'm completely against Bungie constantly bringing back old gun models, if they keep bringing them back like this though, where they're this lethal, well, I guess I'm okay with it for now. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.